Good morning, everyone. All right. So the markets are range bound here in this correction uh, that began up here. This is where we got our signal from our market internals, and it started sideways. And then there was that nasty drop and this pretty big recovery. Now we're just chopping here, and market just trying to figure out. It's just going to keep going sideways here. It doesn't seem like today is going to be the day that we get something of significance going. Not so positive, but just seeing where things are at here, 313 and change. Um, just a slight gap up above this bar's high. Yesterday, we had a pretty significant gap down below the prior bar's high, and we did a lot of chopping around. We had a little sell off and a move back up again, and it closed positively above the open and near the high. But overall, we've got lower highs over here. So now that it's taken out a prior day's high, at least at the open, but still into this congestion there, maybe after a half hour or so, if it cannot, well, let's say if it cannot drop back down here, because now we've got this support created from yesterday. So ideally, it wouldn't break down below this little shelf here. And it's going to be stuck in this little trading range. We'll see if it blasts out of it, and then you've got an unfilled gap there. And of course, this prior high. So until we get a significant move, either through here, which can get stuff moving up to the highs, or down below here where there's the void below, which we thought yesterday maybe that was going to be the case, but it wasn't. Just couldn't get going to break down through there. We look through the futures, what we started with yesterday on the hourly chart. I talked about if it can get down below this level, and obviously it didn't. Tested, and then it was like a grind up toward the top of the trading range. So, overnight here, we've got these topping tails. So there's the top of the range, there's the bottom of the range. What we do when we see a pattern like this is to see what the reaction is. So now that it's come from the lows and it approaches the highs where there's resistance, well, the obvious question is, does it go back down, or does it chop around going sideways here for an hour or so? Of course, it could just blast right through it, but that's not going to be the ideal for an entry point to get long. Then we'd have to wait for a pullback. But looking at these candles, you just see it's kind of marching. So dips down, bottoming tail, and so on, versus what we want to see for some confidence that it could continue to go long, up to go long, would be some kind of a spike down. So like this bar right here, I think this is what happened part of the day yesterday, where there was this spike below the lows, and then it came right back up again. This was just a pullback, but we would look for some kind of a failure pattern. Oh, someone in YouTube, no FOMO, is giving up shorting spiders for the time being. You lost so much. Well, maybe you should join the room. We had an awesome short trade on the Russell yesterday, and I kind of stayed away from the ES, but it kind of dipped down a little bit at one point. But anyway, what you want to look for is which ones have voids. And right now, there's this trading range, and there's no pattern here for the time being. All right, let's take a look at, well, let's go up here. Let me just use this line for the moment. So obviously the top of the range here, SPX, it's Friday. You just don't know what it's going to do. I mean, coming to the top of the range, the question is, can it break out? And if it breaks out, the levels down below for selling bull put credit spreads are going to be what we are going to look for. Is there premium down there? So the ideal scenario would be to find premium down below 3060. We've got this support that's held a couple of times. So again, if it can push up through here, that doesn't mean it won't come back down. But the thinking is, if it can push through here, and even if it comes back down, well, now there's these levels of support where buyers are going to want to step up. So that's kind of like your soldiers, or so to speak, are there on the front line protecting where you don't want it to go. Right. So again, if it can push through here, these levels should be your safety zone, where below, it won't get down below there. Right? It shouldn't get down below there. So that's what I'd be looking for. This can poke up here, and then looking to sell down below here. If you get 3070, right? Traders asking about 3070. Well, you're going to get more money, but that's kind of like your last stop, where down at 3060, even if it fell hard from here down to here, and now you're underwater holding a loss, at least you've got this somewhat of a safety zone barrier that it would bounce off of. So if it came down hard, most S&P traders are going to want to buy it when it gets down there, either to cover shorts or for a long bounce. And if it dips down here first, say it opens up, right? Markets open at 9:30, and it immediately starts to drop. Well, up above here, up above 3160, well, we'll look over there. All right, let's go to the NQs. So they're marching right back up. They have totally negated the big red sell-off bar. And that bottoming tail bar, the little break failure, that says it should make a new all-time high. Now, this coming down as hard as it did, I like the fact that it had this 2-day consolidation here. Actually, the high of this bar, it's all lined up there, which you can see this shelf of support right there. Now, it supports a bias that this should get through the high, and it should hold above the high, based above that. And we can see what the weekly chart looks like here. While extended, it's negating, or no follow through, we call it, to this topping tail bar, even though it broke the low, which continues to show a bullish bias. But the ranges, look at the ranges expanding here. So there is uncertainty at this level about the continuation. I want to say, have your stops in place. Now, this week's low is going to be a huge reference point, because assuming this bar closes like this should never go back down here next week, because you've got this long consolidation. So if this comes right back down here, all of this buying, this belief that created by the dip, it's going to go higher. And at this moment, they are right. They are all going to be thinking about getting out, and there's a big void below. But right now, the pattern says it's going to keep going up. Where are our Qs in relation to a gap? So 246 and change. Yeah, so I say is it gapping above these highs, and it should be based on what we see with the futures. We've got the prior high here, so this should also become support. So what should happen? It's gapping above here. Let's say, or assume for the moment, it runs up to the high, right? Which isn't very far away, right? And then sellers come in, or it pokes up above the high and sellers come in. Well, buying here, right, anywhere there or here, see somewhere in here, would be where you'd want to be a buyer looking for it to resume the move up. Right? Breaking below here is going to be a problem. And Qs we looked at, YM. How come spiders gap so much less than ES? Because ES doesn't gap, because it's trading overnight. It only stops trading for 15 minutes after the market closes, or a little while after that.
No, I don't mean that. It's up 38 points right now. So, typically, that's 1 point per 10 points. So typically the spiders would be gapping up 375, and they're not. So I didn't know if it had anything to do with dividends or anything like that. That's the only exception I see when they're so out of whack like that. It's a dividend situation where spiders are gapping down.
Right. So now they're not gapping down, but
No,
you're
no,
saying
no. I mean,
gapping as much.
they're gapping down from the 38 ES level. So that's my point.
Well, I don't know. I never thought of it. But if you look at it over a course of multiple days or weeks, then you have to, you're having, meaning you're having this thought now. If you've looked at this in the past and you're saying that it typically gaps more in comparison to today, then we have a question as to why today.
Correct, right. No,
Normal?
and you and I have talked about it before. When it's unknown, when it's quarterly, dividends on the entire SP, the entire SPY, it's very noticeable. But it looks very noticeable today, and I'm scratching my head of why. Yeah, it is triple witching, so I don't know. Let's not waste time, I guess, now. But yeah, it was the smaller gap was very noticeable when I looked at the ES up 39.
So looking at that, I would only be interested in the answer if it communicated to me that there is an advantage or a disadvantage today as far as a trading bias as to up or down, whether that had any meaning, other
Well,
than it's an interesting thing. Why is it happening? But does it give us an edge? I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I got a bullish put spread bias here today because the other three indexes proportionally are, a bigger gap than the spiders. So I don't know. Yeah, we'll just do our regular factory work, but yeah.
I'm answering someone here. Someone just found the channel. He found Nirvana on YouTube. All right. Well, let's continue here. It's getting late. Trading range, high, low. It's coming up here this morning. The Russell maybe can march its way up to the top of the range there. I believe this is where we had the short in the afternoon. There was a little breakout failure. Those on YouTube might be interested in the pattern. Well, I believe it was right there, where we had the wide range bars across the board there, and then that failed, and we got short here and wrote it down into lunch, and then we had enough lunch money. And that was the pattern yesterday. And bonds are down here a little bit, kind of like same thing, uncertainty, chopping back and forth here. The hit resistance came in, they're holding, maybe it's a higher low. A lot of uncertainty in the market right now. That's why my takeaway is the way the trading is. But oil continue to move up. It totally reversed that red bar from last week. And the question is whether this can hold on to the gains here. You see the little M top, and there's the momentum move. So it is a textbook type of an end top that was preceded by a big move up. And we'll see. And gold, just a mess. Continues to be. But so far, bullish consolidation is just not ready. Silver, which has been threatening to go down, is just holding here. So gold and silver, maybe next week, maybe some other uncertainties getting out of the way, that they will be ready to move. And transports are just same story there. All yours, Dan.
All right, thanks. Good morning. Let's take a quick look at opens and gappers. 0 DTE day. So as I said, I think we're going to find a lot of beautiful. I mean, we got gap ups over yesterday's high. 3-bar pullback after this potent reversal, and now we're gapping up from that. But see the IWM's gapping over more. This is like a big old reverse head and shoulders on the 15-minute chart over 2 days. On diamonds, gap and resistance. So I like Qs and spiders and IWM for put spreads today. All right, let's do opens. Beyond, we have a put spread expiring today. So far, so good. They're the 150s, which is $11 out of the money, so we'll let those expire worthless. Dunking 1, 2, 3. We did a put spread yesterday. Gapping, well, it's actually up now. It was gapping down a little bit. I read that they're going to do a secondary offering at $40. Kroger, we have a call spread with a stop over Thursday's high. Cruise lines, and I'm always watching beat up sectors. We sold a put spread on this yesterday, and I got an email from somebody asking, what's the pattern? And I told him, I said, we had 3 times where bearish gaps were negated. This one, and then 3rd time. So when it rocketed up yesterday, we sold a put spread right in here somewhere. And now with the gap up, we should be nicely in profitable territory. T2, a beautiful setup there. Breaking out, reverse heading shoulders. Beautiful, beautiful consolidation right here with a bottoming tail. Red bars ignored. We have a put spread. We're also long stock on that. We actually legged into a covered call, I remember. XOP, retest of this wide range reversal bar on support. We sold a put spread on that today. Some of you were getting nervous yesterday into the close, and as I always do, I look at it objectively. I said, okay, it's against us, but is the trade broken, and do we need an adjustment? And I said, no, it's not broken, and we don't need an adjustment. So we sat through it. And now, like the cruise ship, we should be in nice profitable territory on that. We bought half lot into the close yesterday. Another beautiful consolidation here. Red bar ignored. J&J, we're short stock with a stop over Wednesday's high. Nikola, somebody thought it had earnings today, right? I don't know if whoever thought that it was pre or post market, but as it surely doesn't look like it's gapping up. It is after hours. Okay, thanks. We have a put spread on that you all have to trade your own plan. But I'm short some 50 and 40 put spreads way down there. T2 I mentioned. TMUS, we bought stock yesterday. Varex, we're short. Workday, bought the stock into the close. Another beautiful breakout there. Wix, long stock. We found so many bullish setups yesterday. It was incredible. Zynga also went against us a little, but same analysis. I said there's the pattern's not destroyed. It's an inside day. APT here I have right here. Somebody in the room found this breakout here into the close. Has room daily, weekly, monthly. So let's definitely keep an eye on that. Let's look at some opens. Gappers here. TJ mentioned this thing rocketing pre-market. The daily's a mess, so only if it sets up intraday. Look at this, talking about rocket ships. Look at Cone. Look at that, 10 bucks to 24. You know, I wish it wasn't doing this pre-market, or else that could have been a nice gap trade. It's too extended for me now. Workhorse, gapping up, too extended. We missed the entry. NTN, that's a mess. Well, actually over the pre-market high, you got a price void. That could be a day trade. Day trade pre-market high if you're so inclined. This thing getting whacked. This might be that foreign company, fintech I've read about, who they lost, their accountants can't find $2 billion. NVAX, the entry was this 1, 2, 3 right here, or the wide range bar. Derek, your drop down, yeah, Wirecard, yeah. So that is the new IP, you know, recent fintech IPO, whatever. Nice bull flag consolidation here. We, I think Alex and some others in the room are in it, so congratulations. That was a beautiful trade. But it's extended now. Ludwig, Tosco. I mean, it's up 4 bars, but it's grinding higher. It's a bullish gap on the 15. So for a day trade, you know, this is a breakdown failure. So it's a downside shakeout. So that is positive. It's just getting on board some of these things that are up 4 bars in a row. You just got to find the best ones, but compare them to some of our opens like Workday, Wix, T2, TMUS, Ever. I'll take those over some of these that are up 4 days. Tosco, maybe, you know, maybe 30-minute high. Let's see. Tehran is asking about shop. Yeah, that's on my list right here. It's been a beast. It's one of these though that it's up 5 bars. So it's just, unless you get a day trade setup. So right now it gapped up and it's coming in. It would really need to hold like right here and maybe 5-10 minute high to be a day trade, and with the market strength, obviously. Boeing gapping up here. Let's see if we can get a put spread at 190 for today. 190. McGraw, hint, hint. Clow, yeah. I mean, like another one, it's up. That's bullish 15-minute chart. And it's, you know, the gaps, visually, the gap's kind of excessive for me. But you can put it in a little window. Carve, I just answered, 30-minute high. TMOS. TMOS, it says incorrect symbol, John. Q's still a beast right here in the FANG department. On Facebook, it's, you know, it's been in a trading range here above the 20. That actually could be a put spread for next week. Netflix, I know it's up 4 bars, but a put spread, a 0 DT put spread under yesterday's low should be okay. Amazon, same, under, you know, under today's Friday, under Wednesday's low, put spread idea. And all these ideas, obviously, we're waiting. Number 1, number 2, we got to make sure the, you know, the market's going to continue strong. TMUS. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. I would have, you know, let's try to sell a third into strength. I like it. And you know what, folks? That's another idea that you can always do. You have nothing to lose, even pre-market. Just put an order out pre-market, saying I will Oh, Visto, did I forget Visto on the spreadsheet? All right, let me get to Visto. All right, but hold on, let me tell them to sell. TMOS, there is absolutely nothing wrong putting your merchandise for sale, right? So what if you just pre-market say, yeah, I'll sell a third of my merchandise at 110. It's either going to happen or it's not. So you got nothing to lose. So then we can move stop. That was a beautiful pattern yesterday. 105.58. We were incredibly active yesterday, more so than I predicted. Visto, yeah, Visto, yeah, we bought this into the close yesterday. And yeah, no, it's on the spreadsheet. So I'm not sure what the question is. Yeah, we bought it yesterday, right into the close, 12.58. Looks great. All right, this little APT's coming in. Cone, I don't care about. F gapping up.